This is the book of Isaiah chapter. The book of Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and their right grievousness which they have prescribed. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachak, Kudos Bukatam. Double honors to my apostles, the elders, the great millstone, teaching to rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. So this the brother Yahweh up out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I was going to do a lesson. I gotta, long story short, the spirit switched because I was listening to this guy that's a radio host in the city I'm in. I'm out of the GMS Cleveland Church. Sam Silk, the guy's name Sam Silk. So long story short, he was speaking about this exhibit situation. Now the thing is, I did a video about this already, but through the spirit, it made me, the Lord moved my spirit to want to bring it out again because he was just so in awe at the fact that this woman is basically pleading to the court to be basically supported for the rest of her life. And you're just hearing the stupidity of Babylon the Great because you got, this guy Sam Silk has obviously females on, like I guess his co-host. I don't know her name, but she was saying her point of view on it. He was saying his point of view, and I was just looking at it scripturally. Like she was saying how difficult it is for a woman to be a homemaker, taking care of the children and doing the homework, all this little shit. And he made a statement. He said that the men don't do that, and I laughed because I'm doing that right now in my household. So it's just funny. A man is literally really like looked down upon in this society, and it wasn't that way in the ancient world. But it's all due to the fact of the way Edom governs the world. Scripture says, as the judge of the city is, so are the people. So the judge of the city is cruel and covetous, and just all these negative traits, and that's why these people are so bugged out, so just so off, so sinful, because the rulers, scriptures talk about how the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, so you got the wicked in authority right now. Proverbs chapter 29 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And right now you got a lot of mourning and sorrow. You can see this guy's face, although I believe this is probably recent though. Now, this is dated July 31st, and like I said, I can't remember exactly when I did the video, but again, just today, the guy brought it up, and it made me think about it because, I was reading the article, and basically, well, I didn't read the article. It says that she initiated the divorce, which is actually, when you go into statistically, Babylon the Great, it's women that initiate the process. It's women that want to be the first ones to get married that'll push the point of marriage, but did get married to be the first ones to want to divorce. Show you how really bugged out Babylon the Great is. It tells you in Isaiah chapter 29 about for his turning the things upside down. Marriage was at one point in time sacred. This is the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 24. I'm going to start up at verse 22. And the rib which the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua had taken from man made he a woman and brought her onto the man. Now, it's a deeper breakdown with that rib, because when you go into scriptures, it's multiple scriptures that talk about rib, but not to, deviate, or, drown anybody with, this ain't really even meat. This is somewhat milk, but, Jake's simple, it'd be amazing. I was talking to a female yesterday. She was talking about she know about Israel, but then asked me, am I religious? Am I Muslim? She said she know about Israel, Yasher Allah, but then talking about Muslim. But I just, it's a heavy spell out here, but it talks about that in the scripture, so it shouldn't be, it talks about that. Don't be surprised. I'm wording it wrong, but it said, "Counting not strange concerning the fiery trial." You know what I mean? Counting not like because the scriptures talk about how the Lord's gonna blind these people's eyes. So that's just the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai affirming what He wrote down or what He had written, I should say. And it says, verse 23, and Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." And basically, it's going into how to relation. They was related. She shall be called woman because she has taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So that's the sacred, how sacred it is, because when a man child basically leaves his father's household, he goes on and he creates his own family. That's what gives a man real true power. A man actually creates. A woman is like the field and a man is like the plow. He sows a seed into her. When you go into the word husbandry, it goes back to planting, growing. Women long for a husband, don't even know why or what a husband is the definition of. And who would want to be a fucking husband in this place? This is a place where you can literally go to jail and your shit for the woman being disobedient or disrespectful. I have done that. I have experienced that. Anyhow, I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. It's a lucky I ain't mean to do that. And the fact that literally, you don't necessarily even have to do anything physically to the woman. She could just say, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring out a little bit of this article because, like I said again, it was another article that talks about how she basically initiated the divorce. Now, when you go into this, she literally has been dealing with this guy for over 20 years. So before they got married within like the last 6, or the 6 or 8. Like I think they got married in 2014. She filed for divorce in 2021. Why did you stay with him then? If they've been with each other for almost 2 decades. So if it was so bad, why did you stay with him and marry? Why did you marry him so she can get access to them funds? You know what I mean? Guarantee you that was what it was. After 8 years of marriage, the judge has ordered rapper Xzibit to pay support to his estranged wife, Christia Joyner. As of Monday, August 1st, he will pay Joyner $2,239 a month in child support for the care of their 10-year-old son, Gatelyn, for the next 8 years. For her care, he has been ordered to dish out additional $3,702 a month in temporary spousal support and an additional $5,941. So that's almost like $11,000 to square up support arrearages for July. On top of that, he has to compensate Joyner $50,000 for the forensic accountant to audit his finances and $125,000 for her legal bills. So this man has to pay her bills for taking him to court. So that's why I brought out the Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. This is an unrighteous decree. Because, again, if she was unhappy, why would she marry him? Like I said, it doesn't go into how long they've been knowing each other. You know what I mean? You got such a thing called palimony. Based on their system, once you're married, y'all are as one. So, therefore, you're supposed to take care of her, honor her, and vice versa. But what you don't get that a lot in the Babylon the Great. But nonetheless, even if y'all not married, but they deem y'all been together for long enough, they can hit you with what they call palimony. And I read that somewhere, but I think the first guy that was actually hit with that was the guy Lee Majors. Just like Johnny Carson was the first celebrity to be taken up top with the huge, where they took, like, his wife took like half his fortune type of it. Showing you how dirty, scriptures talk about who cannot be good to himself, whom could he be good to, roughly paraphrase. Talking about if Esau Edom is, he shits on his own people, or he doesn't have much love for his own people, what do Jake got coming? Scriptures again talk about if a woman was to leave for whatever reason, if she find fault or you find fault in her, she's to leave with basically just the clothes on her back. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1. When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. It doesn't talk about her getting half your money or paying spousal support. Scriptures talk about she is basically sent off with a bill of divorcement, and she leaves with everything. She leaves, Salaki, she leaves everything. The children, everything. So yeah. So with that being said, bear with me for a second. It says, it says, this means he will have to shell out a little under $250,000 before they get back to court in February, making one ask if it is cheaper to keep her, trying to make jokes and mockery of his situation. So you may wonder, how does the Pimp My Ride host have that much money he invested? Well, Exhibit and his business partner, Dr. Dre, own a cannabis business, Brass Knuckles, worth estimated $170 million in the Napalm brand of marijuana. Now, again, that's why she's supposed to did all that. She wants compensation for the rest of her life, because due to the fact that she literally supposed to found out about this business. So although he hasn't been making music, and although he's no longer the host of that Pimp My Ride show, he's supposed to have his business with Dr. Dre, worth that much money. But from what I hear, they say that basically he pays for the house that she lives in with another man. Only in Babylon. So when you go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, it says that's why Paul spoke about not being married, because you'll have trouble in the flesh. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 8. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I, meaning being solitary, meaning being alone. Because in this faith, you're going to give up stuff. The Lord it might not be your lot to actually, when you go back and look at the churches, you had, couples and families and whatnot, but then you had, you're basically going to sacrifice. This walk, this truth is not all about sacrifice, but sacrifice plays a big part. Our Lord and Savior, who we are trying to emulate, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, had to sacrifice onto his life. So how much more? It tells you in the scriptures that the servant is not greater than the master. So if the Lord, our big brother, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, had to sacrifice, why wouldn't his pupil, his student? Because when you go into disciple, it basically means student. And we're students of the way, of this way, when you go into scriptures, it talk about the children of the way. This is the way of, truth and life. This is, this is the, what's it, how's it worded? Seek out the old way. This is the old way, the old path, which indwelleth righteousness. Verse 9, but if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. So if you can't contain, if you have no self-restraint, it's better to marry than to burn with lust. Verse 10, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. So not Paul commanded, but the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua commands, let not the wife depart from her husband. So again, why, if she's married or is dealing with another man in the house that this man used to own, no longer, he can't stand there, it's a whole nother motherfucker standing there. Why do this woman feel that she got to pay or he has to pay for the rest of his life. And then she's saying, well, basically because they was married and he promised to take care of her the rest of her life. But what you mean? You got a whole nother man now. You know, when a woman is given away, she's given away to a righteous man. That's what the whole point of a father watching over his daughter for it. You know, now we so fucked up as a nation. A lot of the women of our nation are fucked up because of the simple fact, because of the fact that they didn't have the father figure in the household. You know, I just met a woman from the Congo, Africa. You know, because it's a little area in Cleveland where you got all these different immigrants. But, you know, through the spirit talking to this woman, you know, she ain't no heathen. She a Jake. You know what I mean? And she says it's a community of them. You know, now I've never spoke to, you know, I used to see them, but I never really spoke to them. It was some humbug through the spirit type of thing. The Lord had me speak to her. So I'm chopping it up with her. And, you know, you can hear the accent and, you know, but then I'm looking through the spirit, and I'm like, this is a nigga. You know what I mean? She just like Jake, like how the elder apostle to her was saying, you know, I related to some Ethiopians, he was saying, and he said they act just like Jake. This woman act just like Jake. You would think she was, if she didn't have that accent, you would say she was from here. So yeah, I mean, but Salaki for the digression. The point is, you know, like I say, what would make this woman think that she's supposed to be taken care of when you got a whole nother man? And she going through the curses. Like she says she never knew her father, all this stuff. That's when I start putting it together like, oh yeah, she a Jake. Then I'm looking at her mannerism and her spirit. But that was the point of bringing that up. But, you know, a man's supposed to give his daughter to a righteous man. And that's why it's a dowry. Because, you know, females were worth, you know, you had to pay the dowry, you know, like with King David. King David was supposed to pay the dowry, but Saul basically, to try to set David up because he had that demon on him, he put him in a situation where he said, well, you don't have to pay, just pay by bringing me the foreskin of the Philistines. He asked for a certain amount, and David went the extra mile and gave him double. I think I'm going to end it with this. So at the end of the day, you know, because it kind of pissed me off with just reading it. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's why this place is going to be judged so much. You know, the scriptures talk about a wicked and adulterous generation, you know, which is these people, because they see nothing wrong with this, you know, because Esau, Edom, their daddy has taught them this. You know, it's okay to jump from dick to dick, you know, not understanding when you taking in all them different men, you know, and they spirit, they semen, that's you taking on their spirit. That's why these women are bugged out. This book of Matthew, chapter 16, and the point is verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. So we, the brothers in the great millstone, as well as the brothers teaching the like-minded doctrine, you know, the men of the hopeful elect, we're out on the highways and hedges week in, week out, as well as day in, day out, putting up these videos, these epistles, trying to tell Jake to come back, telling Jake right from wrong, and proclaiming, you know, the judgment of these nations. But, you know, Jake, ain't gonna get it, you know, like I say, that because it's, you know, it's already set up for 2/3 to be destroyed, you know. And, you know, the closer we get to the end, the worse everything is gonna get. You know, it's gotta get worse before it gets better. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, pray to come back to the law, statutes, commandments of your power. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to called law, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Ba'ashim. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to his truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawatha Lababal, shalom.